What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know me. Typically, I try to post just one video a day because, it kind of treats the algorithm a bit better. But recently, news has just been flying, absolutely flying over on Twitter. So I have been kind of making a couple of videos a day. And today is going to be one of those days that I have to pump out another video because this is an extremely hot topic and it's showcasing a little bit behind the scenes of what's happening with Call of Duty and why personally, even though I have a little bit of faith when it comes to Microsoft, at the end of the day, there are still a big scummy corporation who more than likely won't take Call of Duty in the direction that a lot of people are hoping they will. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you are interested in seeing more content just like this, by all means, subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. Like I said, on the rare occurrence, we will go ahead and post 2 videos a day. So like I said, if you guys want to stay tuned, hit that bell so you get notified every single time a video goes live. And last but not least, we do go ahead and stream pretty much daily as well over on Kick. So if you guys are interested in that, that stream usually goes live around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. And just so you know, we do open lobbies all the time over there. So just go into the chat, hit me up. You can add me whenever you feel like it. And if you see an open spot in the squad, you're welcome to join on in. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Microsoft picking up Activision Blizzard, I feel like it's been pretty controversial between the community. A lot of people think that it's an extremely good thing, and a lot of people think it's a horrible thing. Honestly, I'm not going to say that they're completely awful for Call of Duty because Bobby Kotick was probably the worst thing that ever happened to this franchise. And the fact that he's gone is already, a massive plus. And on top of that, let's be serious here. They also fixed up the OG servers for Call of Duty games. Not really with the cheaters, but the servers are at least a bit more playable. They have been touching upon a lot of things when it comes to communication. Sledgehammer has been, as open as I've ever witnessed them. And I'm assuming that's because of different, leadership allowing them to communicate with their community a bit more. So on and so forth. There's a decent amount of things that I think Microsoft has done for this overall franchise that is positive. But again, when it comes to saving the overall game, I still don't believe it. I've been saying it time and time and time again, and people, they don't want to believe me, and they want to call me crazy and not having any faith in Microsoft. But again, when I look at them as a massive corporation. Microsoft is one of the biggest corporations in the whole freaking world, and you're telling me that their bottom line isn't about the dollar bills? I don't know about that. But as you can see right here from Charlie Intel, God, breaking. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 workers from their Xbox division, including employees at Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, and more. This comes at just 4 months after Microsoft closed the $70 billion acquisition of Activision. And then Charlie Intel further on says, in October, Phil Spencer said the acquisition of Activision Blizzard would build a culture that strives to empower everyone to do their best work. 4 months later, Xbox and Phil Spencer are laying off 1,900 employees at Xbox, primarily at Activision Blizzard. And right here is the official statement from Phil Spencer saying, it's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we are all aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished here. We're grateful for all of the creativity, passion, and dedication they have brought to our games, our players, and our colleagues. We'll provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with the respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I'm as confident as ever in your ability to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that bring players together. Phil. Now, I've seen a couple of different things being thrown around on the internet. First and foremost being that this is a good thing because there were probably bad employees, even though Phil Spencer went ahead and, stated it in this post right here saying that they weren't bad employees. They were good employees. They did the job, outstandingly. And basically, Phil Spencer was just saying that, they're trying to budget cut here, save money, cut the corners with costs in the most, what's the word I'm looking for? In the most, corporate way possible. You know what I'm saying? This is a total corporate email right here in every way possible that you could think of to try to sugarcoat things the best way for them to make it seem like, they're not budget cutting, but at the same time, they have to admit that they're budget cutting to save them from a little bit of a whooping from the community. But as nice as it is to believe that all of these employees that got fired were just bad apples, sadly, that's just not the reality of things. We can think that as much as possible, but at the end of the day, this happens across the board in the gaming scene all the time. I mean, honestly, it's really sad because gaming, for a lot of people who get into the game development scene, they're very passionate. Out of any job that I could possibly think of, well, not out of any job, there's a lot of other passionate jobs there. But game developers love what they do. If you go to school for game development and you get a job in that field, not only is it extraordinarily hard to get in there, but I guess that, that weight, that grind to get into the scene makes it even more, amazing to get into that, that whole overall world. And people love it. They're very passionate individuals. They're very passionate people. I can't imagine someone getting into that scene and being just, waking up like they're going to a job that they absolutely despise every single day, purposely trying to ruin the game and do horrible work. 9 times out of 10, every person that you're going to hire in that field is going to love what they're doing. They might not enjoy the game that they might be working on, but when it comes to actually making games, a lot of them have a blast with it. So again, 9 times out of 10, this is just budget cuts. They're trying to save money, and it just proves time and time again how scummy these businesses actually are. And, I know tons of people who work, in the game development scene. And that just further proves to me that this wasn't, getting rid of the bad apples, because a ton of my friends have been fired from the scene as well. And I'm talking about very hardworking individuals, people who grind, put in all the work, all the effort, 1010%. They're never late. They never miss a day of work. They're always present. They're the nicest human beings you could possibly think of. They are like exactly what you want out of an, employee. And even they get laid off from these jobs all the time across the board. Again, this isn't getting rid of bad apples. This is them just trying to save money, which is disgusting to me because they just spent $70 billion to pick up this company. And you're telling me you can't just, save up a few million to go ahead and make sure that these individuals can still hold on to their jobs and not lose out on the benefit of being able to put food on the plates for their family, keep a roof over their head, and having to go through the stress of finding another job in game development? Like, again, I know I personally don't work in game development, obviously, but do you know how hard it is to get back into the scene like that? It's very complex. It's not easy to get another job like that. So when you get laid off from a game development job, you're going to be hustling. It's not like you could just, go around the corner and find another piece of work that's exactly the same. No, you're going to be stressed. The stress levels are going to be through the roof, especially if that's your primary income. And also imagine surviving through the trenches known as Bobby Kotick, the Bobby Kotick era. Imagine grinding through all of that BS at Activision, having Bobby Kotick be your boss with sexual harassment, bullying, and all this other garbage that goes on with him. Finally seeing him leave, just rejoicing. Everybody's happy. Everybody's celebrating. And then, a month or two later, everybody gets fired out. 1,900 people get fired out. Again, it's 22,000 people, but still, 1,900, that's still a huge chunk. We're talking about, almost 2,000 individuals, 2,000 people with, their own lives, their own stories, their own everything getting completely cut from the scene. That would be tragic. That would be tragic. I can only imagine. Like I said, I can only imagine how it feels to be celebrating that Bobby is finally gone and then getting cut from the team. Guys, this is why I'm worried about Call of Duty. I know everybody wants to believe Microsoft is going to be the savior of this franchise and that they picked up Activision and everything is going to get better. But you have to remember that this is business. Trust me, I love to think positively as well when it comes to these scenarios because I love Call of Duty and nothing will make me happier in the world if they fix things up. And if they do fix things up, I'll gladly eat these words. Don't get me wrong, I'll gladly eat these words because that's only better for all of us if things get better for the overall franchise. But the problem is, like I said, they're a business. There's not been one business I could possibly think of that are good. Even the ones who, like Amazon, for example, they do tons of great things. They're constantly donating, constantly trying to do stuff to, improve, people's ways of living. But at the end of the day, they do a lot of scummy things as well. And the majority of the scummy things you probably won't even see because these big businesses, these big corporations with all the money they have, they can control what you see. They can control what you watch. And of course, a few things will slip and we'll find some crap out that's disgusting. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to show us the best of the best. And that goes across the board with every business out there. They all have their dirt. They all have their crap. And Microsoft is not an exception. Like I said, they are one of the biggest businesses out there. You cannot tell me, once again, like I said in the beginning of this video, you can't tell me that their bottom line is not the dollar bill. You know, I can't imagine the skins getting a reduction in price. I can't imagine them, actually giving the developers time to make games and, try to reduce crunch time. I have a feeling they're going to try to do the same thing they always do. They're going to try to pump out annual releases and milk the franchise because that's what Call of Duty is. Call of Duty has this luckiness about it. It has this, something that no other game can actually maintain. Other games struggle, especially if they launch horribly. But Call of Duty, even in the worst of launches, they still succeed. They still top sales. Call of Duty is like a subscription service. It's not like, taking a risk to make a game. No, when Microsoft looks at COD, they're not like, oh, okay, we're taking a massive risk investing millions of dollars for them to make this game, and we have to, wonder if we're going to make our money back. No, they look at Call of Duty and say, oh, yeah, we don't have to give a crap about this game. It's literally going to pump us out massive checks every single year with minimal effort. Right? And they're going to keep pushing it like that. And anybody who thinks otherwise, I'm sorry, man, but I don't know. Again, they can prove me wrong, and I'll be happy when they do prove me wrong. But at the end of the day, they are a business. They want money. And just like you see here, they don't care. They knew that people were waiting for Bobby Kotick to leave. They knew the work conditions under Activision. They knew all the garbage that these people are going through. And yet they fire a bunch of them anyways instead of letting them finally enjoy a work environment that might actually be semi-normal, especially with the budget they have, the cash flow they have. Microsoft, once again, one of the biggest businesses out there, they bought Activision for $70 billion. If you're telling me they couldn't scrape together a few million to make sure that these people could keep their jobs, then once again, you have lost your freaking mind. But ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, leave a dislike if you hated it, subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time, and sometimes on the rare occurrence you get these double uploads here. So like I said, hit that bell, you'll get notified on everything. And as I always say, last but not least, we do stream pretty much daily over on Kick. If you guys are interested, that stream goes live around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I have a link to that down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.